Alright, and we're back with some more Konquest mode. Gonna be doing Reptile here on the alternate account because I screwed up the last session. Alright, and those of you who don't know, Reptile is my favorite character in the franchise, and he's one of the best characters in this game too. The warrior known as Reptile has grown much stronger and more primal since his first appearance in the tournament. His physical appearance has morphed into something more animal than man. Like Reptile, you must connect with your instincts if you wish to complete this journey. Hungar, or Tiger Fist, is the merging of Southern Shaolin fighting styles of Chinese Kung Fu. It is based on the movements of animals such as the tiger and the crane. So, before I even get started, everyone just bitches about this, design for Reptile, and I get it. People don't like the fact that he's more reptilian. But you know what, man? Since MK4, Reptile has had this kind of different appearance, so I don't really care. And as a Reptile main, since beginning of time playing this game series, by the way, I really don't care. And people go, oh, look at him, he's so silly, and he sucks. If you type in MK Deadly Alliance, Reptile, ineffective, or not good, or meta, all people complain about is his damn appearance. They don't actually care how he plays. In fact, he's one of the best characters in the entire game, and I'll demonstrate why as I get along here. During the invasion of Earthrealm, Reptile had been ordered by his master Shao Kahn to assassinate Princess Kitana. The style of attack he attacked with was Hungar. So, look at how fast these attacks are, man. Like, Reptile is just a solid character in terms of speed and damage. He's really just a Swiss Army knife character. He has everything kind of going for him. A very effective Hungar attack used by Reptile is his double claw strike. Attack Kitana with the double claw strike 3 times. So, he does have this really nice and fast, knockback push move. So, that's really effective, honestly. Excellent, now strike Kitana with Reptile's Hungar low attacks. By the way, in Deadly Alliance, it's weird because Hungar doesn't have this weird issue. Maybe it's just the copy of Deception I have, because I've had this, I have 2 different versions of Deception, actually. But in that version, Baraka has Hungar, and when you tap ups, I think up 3, he just hops up in the air for no reason. That doesn't happen in this game. I think that was an oversight. Kitana is resisting your attack. While in his Hungar fighting style, Reptile can break her block as well as push her away by executing a shove. So, much like Kitana, Reptile has a shove, which is very effective. This is an unblockable move. So if an opponent's being really annoying, you can just push them back. I will say Reptile is not very effective against the AI. By the way, that Reptile playthrough, that took me like 12 tries, but that was also because I was really screwed up from not having my medication for 4 days. But he's not very effective against the AI, but he's very effective against another person. After Shao Kahn's defeat in Earthrealm, Reptile returned to Outworld to protect his master. His main duty has been to seek and destroy any possible threats to Shao Kahn's rule. Reptile has slain many would-be rulers before they had a chance to gain momentum against the Emperor. The latest threat to Shao Kahn is the united forces of Princess Kitana and Prince Goro. The weakened Emperor has ordered Reptile to deliver a message to Sorcerer Shang Tsung. The Emperor demanded the Sorcerer's services in defending against Edenia and the Shokan. At first, Shang Tsung did not recognize Reptile. It had been some time since he had seen him, and Reptile had changed much in appearance. So, yeah, like I said, Reptile has a much better story. A lot of the 3D era characters just have better stories than their current ones. Shang Tsung's body language is one of aggression. Yeah, he looks really angry. Use Reptile's primal reflexes to attack him with these crab basic combos. Attacks. So everyone bitches about this attack style, going, lol, look, he's so silly and stupid looking. This is actually one of the best attack stances in the entire game. Probably the entire 3D era on the PS2 Xbox era. It's amazing. It looks stupid, but it's fucking ridiculously good. So, spring into action. So, Crab is really... I wouldn't say it's my bread and butter stance with Reptile, because it doesn't have a very good pop-up. This dual uppercut, you can see already I'm having some issues pulling it off. It's a fantastic and fast, just devastating combo system in this one. Shang Tsung will not expect these crab low attacks, so also his low game is pretty good. Another thing I really like about Reptile in general is you can just get some really good pokes in, and it just makes it so much easier. The mammal is smarter than you thought. He is now anticipating your crab low attacks. So, yeah, I really... Oh, shit. I really enjoy Reptile in this game. He's always been my favorite character in this game. I mean, next to Nitara. I'd say Nitara and Reptile, and their stories are also very intertwined, which is why I quite enjoy them. But yeah, he's just one of the better characters, and everyone just says, oh, he looks like a lizard and he looks stupid, but that's just... I don't know. I feel like that's mainly just people bitching because they're NRS fans. I don't know. So Reptile does have a reversal as well. I'm not really good at pulling off reversals, if I'm honest. I'm sure it's easier against an actual person, but I don't know. A lot of players seem to really like that. I feel the problem with reversals is they do give you a slight frame to, like, duck down and block, and then you can kind of poke and get out. It's a really hard to pull off maneuver. You see me do it a few times in arcade mode. Eventually, Shang Tsung began to recognize Reptile's fighting moves and ceased his aggressive posture. Reptile calmed down and delivered Shao Kahn's orders. Shang Tsung had to report to the Emperor's palace fortress immediately. His duty fulfilled, Reptile departed to return to his master's side. Shortly after leaving, his keen senses picked up on the scent of blood and the sound of battle coming from Shang Tsung's residence. He raced back to that location to find the sorcerer Quan Chi standing before Shang Tsung. His keen hearing picked up their conversation. They were planning an assassination of his master, Shao Kahn. Angry, acidic drool seethed from between Reptile's teeth to the ground. So, yeah, Reptile really did have a pretty damn good story in this era of MK. The other ones just didn't do much with him. Reptile's saliva has long been feared by his enemies. Its corrosive properties make for a most formidable weapon. As a long-distance attack, Reptile can spit this acid at his opponent. He imagined covering the sorcerers in the substance. Spit at Quan Chi 3 times with the acidic drool before time runs out. So, Acid Spit isn't really the greatest projectile in the game. It's a good, like, ender to a combo. I just don't really use it very often, unfortunately. It's a lot like Nitara's Blood Spit, it's just a little too slow. Reptile's anger was all-consuming, and he imagined himself in a heated battle with the pasty sorcerer. So, yeah, if you couldn't tell, Reptile was kind of a mess in terms of, like, his mental state in this game, which is quite interesting because they never really deviate to that. I don't know why that let me do that, by the way. Sometimes in Konquest, you can actually do a move with it and then tap a button, and sometimes it's okay. It's just a weird quirk this mode has. I think they stopped doing that in Deception, I'm pretty sure. Although it's a bit different in that game, too. Reptile knew he was no match for both sorcerers at once. He decided he could best serve his master Shao Kahn if he could warn him of the impending attack. As he made his way to Shao Kahn's fortress, he was intercepted by a vampire woman brandishing a weapon that seemed vaguely familiar. The weapon was a Kairahashi, an ancient weapon of Reptile's extinct race. The vampire called herself Nitara and offered the weapon to him as an offering of friendship. With a hiss, Reptile ripped the sword from her hands and began swinging it at imaginary foes. So yeah, this is also a fake weapon. I tried looking up anything for it. It's not real. It's just made for the game, which is fine. I don't mind too much. Imagine practicing Reptile's Kairahashi basic attacks on this strange vampire woman. So, Kairahashi is a pretty solid weapon stance. It's really sluggish, which is my main gripe. Like, I can't really follow up a lot of stuff sometimes, but it is very devastating. It's a very effective weapon stance, and it has an impale as well. Nitara did not understand why Reptile was swinging his blade at her. She defended herself. So, by the way, you can just tell that Reptile is just a Swiss Army knife because almost every single one of his, like, stances has some sort of really effective move in it. The Kairahashi isn't really terrible. It's just, I find my biggest problem is its speed, but it does really, really good with range. Like, it has a very decent range, like you can see right from here. It's about sweep distance. It's not terrible. Reptile's imagination ran wild with the attack possibilities this new weapon presented. He tried attacking low. So, the low attacks are actually also really good too. They're just very fast. Like, I swear, man, people give Reptile so much shit in this game, but he is absolutely amazing. So, like, just look at the distance this covers, like, in terms of screen. Like, look at that. Like, you can just keep yourself in a really nice footsie game in this game, which is kind of important considering how this game plays, too. Reptile fantasized impaling Nitara with the Kairahashi blade. He imagined the blood spewing from the open wound. Yeah, Reptile's probably into some pretty sick shit, I'm just gonna say that. But yeah, I don't really use the impale very often. I feel if I can land it, I'll be okay, but for the most part I usually use Hungar when I'm playing as Reptile. It's just pretty effective. Reptile snapped out of his combative trance and stopped his attack on Nitara. He accepted her gift of the ancient raptor weapon readily. By the way, you can sometimes see Saurian as another, like, synonym for raptor. And no, it does not make you a cool person because you know Reptile's real name is Syzoth, because that wasn't even until MKX, by the way, and a lot of shit in that game is, like, just non-canon in my opinion. I mean, I'm just gonna say it right now, just because you know the name of the characters, like, oh, it's Bihan, it's Kuai Liang, it's Hanzo Hasashi, it doesn't really mean much, by the way. She claimed to have information that would help his master Shao Kahn in the battle with Kitana's forces. Reptile knew he could trust her. He could sense no deceit. Nitara led Reptile across the plains of Outworld to the hidden location of Kitana's military encampment. If Reptile could get this information to Shao Kahn, the Emperor could send Kano's troops to smash them in a surprise attack. He had to get back to Shao Kahn immediately. And so you can also see, like, story-wise, this also blends in with Kitana's playthrough, which I just did as well. There's a lot of overlap in the story, which just makes Deception and, you know, Deadly Alliance so damn good. Reptile can travel vast distances quickly by curling up and rolling. In his zeal to help his master, he zipped back and forth fervently, flipping Nitara into the air. So Lizard Ball isn't a terrible move. It's actually more effective against a person. The AI does tend to block that quite a bit. I will admit that. But it is very, very fun. So, I mean, it's a really cool move. I much prefer his other game incarnations, like his shoulder smash move that they gave him in MK4. Actually, no, that was an MK3. A lot of Mugans also give him that move, too. I also really love how he plays in X and 9. It's just so fucking good. You want to know why I hate 11? They don't have Reptile in it. When Reptile finally arrived at Shao Kahn's throne room, he was devastated to find the Emperor lying dead on the floor. Judging by the smell of magic in the air, he realized that Quan Chi and Shang Tsung had already sprung their attack. He imagined the battle that had killed his master and fantasized about aiding him in battle. So yeah, like, if you don't know, it's a body double. That is confirmed in Deception, by the way. So it's not really dead Shao Kahn. Execute these Hungar attack combos on the mammal, Shang Tsung. So Hungar is just fucking amazing. It's one of the best fighting styles in this game. It's just so fucking fast. Oh, I love it. So, like, Baraka also has this stance in Deception, but I don't remember what he has as his secondary. It's a little bit more of a beatdown class. I can't remember. Unleash your furies with these more advanced Hungar combos. Shang Tsung will not know what hit him. So, Wise Tiger's pretty good, but this one here, Iron Thread, that one's actually pretty good. You can see how much damage that did. Without the wall, it would have been about 20. The fight with Shang Tsung would have been epic. God, I haven't seen that word in forever. Attack him with the more advanced Hungar basic combos again. So I will say this, I don't know if it's a, like, oversight. I can't remember if this is actually fixed in Deception or not, but see how Iron Thread has that X in it? You kind of have to hit X twice to register that next hit to go into, like, the circle attack. I can't really explain it, it's just something you have to actually, like, play the game and figure out how to, like, get the timing down. You see me struggle with that in my arcade playthrough for Reptile as well. Reptile believed that his master's death was his fault. He should have returned to the fortress much sooner. In anguish over his failure, he wandered outworld aimlessly until he once again came across Nitara. Feeling the need to redeem himself, he pledged his life to her service. This time, he would not fail. He would protect his new master well. So, I think that's something that really makes Reptile cool in this game, was he actually just had zero agency and was losing his mind. It's quite an interesting, like, story. Express your anger over Shao Kahn's death by performing these crab combos. Punish Shang Tsung, daddy! So, crab is just fantastic. Like, crab on sand, that combo right there, and Claws of Fury are just so fucking fast. You could just beat down people with Reptiles so fucking quickly. So, like, boiling water, it just starts low and then ends high. Crabs on sand, you just end in a knockdown, and then Claws of Fury, you can just follow up after that with something else, like a roll or a spit. It's really good. Pull out your Kairahashi blade and cut down Quan Chi with these combos to help ease the pain. So, the Kairahashi blade doesn't have very many combos. They're mainly just these 1-2 hits. But they are pretty damn effective, I can say that. I don't use them very often. Now Nitara is really angry. She gave you that weapon and now you're using it against her. She will not stand for that. I quite love that one. So, you can see what I mean. You can combo really well with this weapon in general. It's just very effective. It's got a good hitbox. The emotional pain is too great. Your Kairahashi combos have become more intense. So, Rip Tor Tor is probably the main combo I end up using sometimes. It's just a very safe one to pull out. Nitara does not understand why you keep referring to her as Quan Chi or Shang Tsung. Perhaps you're hallucinating. Until she can assess the situation, she must take what you dish out. So, you can see a lot of his combos in this stance are just very, like, they're not bad. They're just not very, like, lengthy. They're just pretty solid damage. That's all I really like about him. You cannot escape the thought that you failed your master. Your anguish has reached a fevered pitch. Impale the traitor Shang Tsung with your Kairahashi blade. 2 exclamation points! Which, by the way, is not actually a grammar thing. As an actual writer, yeah, that doesn't exist. That's just a bullshit thing. So, yeah. I always loved that Reptile was just kind of losing his goddamn mind. It's something I really love. As someone who has a lot of, you know, psychological damage, it's very interesting. Fortunately for the vampire Nitara, Reptile's Kairahashi blade was not made of wood. She pulled the weapon from her body and tried to calm him down. However, Reptile's imagination was out of control by that time. Instead of Nitara, he now saw Katana before him. If he had not wasted time to inspect Katana's military encampment, he would have been in the throne room to defend his master. You see, that's kind of the sad truth, is Reptile probably could have actually stopped a lot of this shit. But, judging by Deception's intro, you can see why it would be difficult. It's all Katana's fault! Make her bleed. Spill 80 pints of her blood before she defeats you, or you come to your senses. So, this is the Trial of Blood. These are very uncommon. Not every character does these, so, I mean, it's just pretty much only moves that spill blood, which, by the way, if you play with blood off, you can't even tell what moves do what. It's a very odd gimmick. I don't think this has ever came back to in Deception, because it's just kind of a waste of time. Like, and some of them are absolutely fucking really tight. Like, it's really hard to do some of them. I think, if I remember correctly, I think Sonya has one, and it's fucking really hard. I can't remember. I think it's... No, that's Kano, I'm pretty sure. Doesn't matter. Nitara forgave Reptile for his uncontrolled bout. Shao Kahn would have killed him for it. Yeah, he just spilled 80 pints of her fucking blood. That would kill anybody many times over. Nitara was indeed a master worth fighting for. Oh yeah. Her first command was to attack an Earthrealm invader. She instructed Reptile to weaken the outsider by biting his arm guard. The battle from that point on would be easy. So, if you have played Cyrax's Konquest, or his story, or, you know, Nitara's as well, you understand that Cyrax and Reptile are very integral to the entire story. Attack the Earthrealm invader with 2 of Reptile's style branch combos. These combos start in the Hungar fighting style and go into the Crab fighting style. So this is the one I tend to use the most. So my only advice is tap X twice. See, watch what happens if I don't. So that's not a good example, but I just tend to find it's much safer, like, to just tap X twice to make sure the combo actually comes out. Because if it doesn't, you're just gonna whiff it, and then you're gonna get dropped combos, and you're probably gonna get beat the shit out of, especially by the AI. Reptile bit the arm of his opponent, but the damage made no difference. The invader did not seem weakened. Reptile attacked with another style branch combo that started with the Crab fighting style and then changed into his Kairahashi blade. So this one right here is just a very effective move in general because it's a pop-up and you can do a very good, like, sword combo after it. Still, the invader would not fall. Reptile made use of all his fighting skills and executed a style branch combo that started with the Hungar and changed to Crab and finished with his Kairahashi blade. This is the big boy combo that you see me use quite a bit. It is a absolutely monstrous combo that is very, very effective. Hard to remember, but it's very damn good. None of his attacks brought Nitara's enemy down. Reptile had one more attack left. He needed to impale the invader with his Kairahashi blade. I don't know why the developers were so into that. I guess it's just stress relief after the shit you go through trying to learn those combos when you're first playing. I don't know, someone like me who's played this game for over almost 20 years, oh Jesus, literally 22 years, knows what they're doing. It's a little different. Also, this is interesting that this changes the text here. Reptile hit the Earthrealm invader so hard that his ribcage burst open. Reptile paused for a moment to flex his leathery muscles in victory. Ugh. But before he could belt a triumphant scream, a great monster with many teeth came whirling outward from inside his defeated foe's chest. Unable to comprehend this new danger, Reptile fled in fear. He wandered again aimlessly, realizing that he had failed another master. He was angry with himself and let his imagination run wild. He imagined that standing before him was his own true enemy. Yeah, I just busted out all my different things there. Hope you were happy. Also, if you fail this, it says you die. Like, it says you die for real if you fail this fight. Reptile must face himself in mortal combat. Defeat the imaginary manifestation of Reptile 3 out of 5 matches in a duel to the death. So, yeah, I really love Reptile. He's just one of my favorite characters in this game. Favorite in the franchise. I really haven't played as him in a while, so pardon my...
Flawless victory.
Okay, never mind, I got a flawless, but whatever. I always say, if you want to see me play the character, just watch my arcade playthrough. I do those first, that way I can get practice for these videos, and also give you guys an in-depth opinion on which characters are better and which ones aren't, etc., etc.
Reptile wins.
So when people say he's shitty, you can see just how fast you can beat down with Reptile. I don't really mind his alternate outfit, if I'm honest. I just don't think it's very visually interesting. It just... If I'm honest, I would have wished they went for like something like MK4, because I think his MK4 outfit is actually pretty cool. I don't really like MK4 at all, but... I mean, I could wax lyrical about how much I don't think that game is very good. But personally... Oh, you son of a bitch. I wanted to get 3 flawlesses. You suck fucking something. I don't know what. You suck something. But yeah, you can see just how devastating he is. He doesn't have a power-up move, but I think if he did, he'd be fucking insanely overpowered. Just saying. So, congratulations! You finished your training. The journey is complete, but the road to destiny is always long traveled, and there is always more to learn. So yeah, like I said, if you want to see me play through as Reptile, go ahead and watch my Reptile playthrough. Otherwise, you can see me do the next character. And I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.